Yeah, hold on. I can. I can put you in my headphones. There we go. Now you are not audible. But now it sounds like I'm talking to nobody, so there's that. Which is kind of how it sounds. Say what? Oh, I sound like a retard all the time anyways. Alright, we are streaming War 3 now. I'm gonna spawn this crappy bomber and go finish off this base. So I think those are like almost like unique mobs, or like I think they have a higher chance to drop rare items or something like that. Other than that, I haven't really noticed. Yeah, and I think those are like worth more, or like make a better product when it comes to like cooking or whatever. But yeah, I'm really not 100% sure. But yeah, like those like relics and stuff, I think they come from something like that. Like there's wise waters, and when you fish a wise water, you get like more experience. There's like the shimmering waters. There's the glade. Yeah, exactly. And so I think they're all kind of like equated to like the same type of like mob thing. Like I would consider them just like a higher difficulty. I don't like, it's kind of hard to tell, like because I don't pay too much concentration to the concentration consumption. But like I don't know if like they're like more difficult in that like they use more concentration and stuff like that, or I don't know all the ins and outs of it just yet. All I know is it's just pure profit for time invested. And even if you don't want to become a cook, like if you don't want to cook as a trade skill, you can still gather the ingredients via fishing, buy spices, and then turn those ingredients into the guy at the pier, and he will make you food. The same exact food that like I can cook. I don't know what the advantage to cooking it yourself is, other than the fact that you can like make it exquisite and make it perfected, but you can also burn it and ruin it. Whereas this guy just straight up exchanges the products for the item. Like there's no potential loss of profit, if that makes sense. Is what? No, thyme and nettle. I have not seen a single recipe up to my level that uses it, but I'm also not collecting the unique recipes. I only have the default recipes, and so the way that it works is every 10 levels, every 10 cooking levels, you get a brand new default recipe without spending any money. Then there's cooking recipes that you can specifically buy that cost money, and they'll do different, more unique. Like your default ones just give you energy and just give you health. That's it. Like they don't do anything else. The specialty recipes do things like increase stats, raise your defense, make you regenerate mana faster. Like they do like special things, but they also require special components. The default things just require like wheat and barley and oats or lentils, and then normally one grocery item that can be bought from the merchants, like butter or an onion or a carrot. But like those aren't found in the wild; those are just bought those are just bought off of that grocery guy. And so I don't know if the unique recipes call for things like leeks or anything like that, but I know that, so I did buy one unique recipe, so that's how I know like what it is. And the unique recipe that I bought required rabbit meat. So in order for each one so you had to go out and kill rabbits, and each rabbit that you killed would give you one piece of meat, and then you could turn that one piece of meat into one rabbit pie, which like boosted your vitality and made you regenerate health faster. And that's just a huge, I mean, like when I'm trying to like, you know, create hundreds and hundreds of things, like I'm not going to go out and kill 100 rabbits. And I mean, I probably would if there were actually like a field with a bunch of rabbits in it, but the rabbits are just like spread out all over Lear's Reach, and you have to walk for like several minutes from one to the next. And you know, as far as I could tell, like they were kind of random, so it was just a huge pain. Like you could spend 20 minutes looking for rabbits and maybe only kill like a dozen of them, and whereas I could just stand in the field and in 12 minutes I could collect like hundreds of oats. You know what I mean? So for the time invested, it seemed more practical to just for leveling, because like I don't think the money to be like, if there's money to be made, it's not going to be in the low level stuff. Nobody is going to spend a lot of money on a rabbit pie that any level 10 cook can make. So I'm trying to get to the high level stuff so that I can supply the raid clans with, you know, health and stat buffs and stuff like that. And at that time, like one of the highest level recipes that I can see on the list, I don't know if it keeps going up, but like one of the highest things that I can currently see is a level 160 cook required, and you have to cook wyvern eggs. So all those wyverns that I've been killing randomly drop eggs every now and then, and I've got like 200 of them just from killing those like 4-star wyverns, and I guess like so far it's like one of the best foods. And and so I've already got a bunch. Yeah, so I'm gonna convert all that into food. There you go. Yeah, I'm wearing one that gives me 100. Probably. You don't leave them on the charger while you're playing? Yeah, you need to go to Best Buy, because that's what I did. I went to Best Buy and got a USB charging thing that plugs like directly into the wall and provides enough like amperage and voltage to supply like the full 2.1 amperage to 6 different USB ports, and then I got a bunch of 6-foot long cables to feed all of my devices, and it sits here on my desk so I can plug everything in all at once and never have to like worry about and I also would leave all my devices charging all the time. Then I got a big piece of drywall, and I'll put all the devices on the piece of drywall, and then like, so if I want to like go sit on the couch or like go sit in the bed or something like that, I can. It looks kind of ridiculous. Catherine took a picture of me doing it the other day, and I was like, please don't share that with anybody. I know I look stupid. I accidentally just... Yeah, man, I've been fishing a lot. I've been cooking a lot. I gather a ton. I haven't really been leveling up too much. I'm trying to kind of... I'm not really in a rush to get to max level. Like, you know, getting to max level is not really going to be super beneficial. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't think anybody's actually reached it yet. There's I mean, I'm not like in a race to get like level 200 is about where it pretty much like tapers off and you're basically max level, but then it keeps going from there, and I don't know what the actual like hard cap ceiling is, but from what I understand, it basically gets to a point where the highest level mobs that you can kill give so little experience and you need so much that it becomes very impractical to continue to level. Like, I guess you theoretically can, but it would require so much investment of time and so much investment of resources that nobody really puts a lot of effort into it. Yeah, like you'd spend all your time grinding and it would take you a month just to get one level where you could have been raiding or trade skilling or something like that in the meantime. But there's only 3 people on our server that are the same level, and they're like level 224. So I don't know if 224 doesn't sound like a hard cap level to me. So I assume it's probably like maybe 225 or 230, and they've just kind of, those 3 people have gotten the closest, and maybe like around like level, you know, maybe around 222 is when it starts to like slow down super dramatically. But right, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Like the monsters only go up to a certain level, and there might not even be a hard cap. Like the levels might be infinite, and they might just keep introducing higher level monsters to the game, which allows you to more quickly and efficiently get to a higher level. But yeah, I've seen there's 3 people that are level 224 on our server, so take that as you will. But yeah, I assume the mobs stop at like, you know, maybe 210 is like the highest mob, like save for like raid bosses or something like that. So leveling up past like 220 becomes extremely difficult. Like potions of revive, combination potions, bags of gold, basically just random things from the premium shop. Nothing, especially at the low levels, nothing very spectacular. Mostly like ancient idols, like ley stone fragments, kind of just junk stuff. But it's all tradable, so you know whatever you get, you can put on the market if you don't plan on using it. And since it's sold for real money, it you know, it's actually worth something for real.
Attention to the designated grid zone.
I'm sorry, say again? Waterlogged boots, as far as I can tell, are, yeah, like basically a fail. Like, it's basically like burned bread. I think they sell for like 1 gold to vendors. But as far as I can tell, it's trash. I've probably got like 300 waterlogged boots in my inventory. I have no idea what to do with them. I don't really need the money, and you know, it doesn't matter if you... So once an item is in a stack, and I don't know how high the stacks go, but once an item is in a stack, it just consumes 1 inventory slot. So like having 1 boot is the equivalent of having 1,000 boots. So like I'm just like, it's not really annoying me, and I'm gonna get a lot more, so I'm not worried about like selling it to a vendor after every time I get done fishing, you know. So I've got like 300 in my inventory just from like all the fishing I've been doing over the last couple weeks. But yeah, you should check into that cooking stuff on that dude that's on the fishing pier. If you talk to him, there's a thing you can get. It's called broth. It's like some sort of fishing broth. Actually, here I'll trade you. I'll trade you one. On trading Astra real quick. Oh, I'll give you one of each on each character here. Alright.
Let's keep the pressure on. Victory is close.
Check that out. You can, that costs 25 gold to make. It regens your concentration faster for 15 minutes while you fish. And yeah, if you're trying to like do a whole bunch of fishing, and you saw, and like, so that same guy also sells concentration potions, so you can like instantly replenish your concentration in case it falls too low. Or it's basically like a health potion. So like if you're about to run out of concentration, but you're like nearly done, maybe fishing like up a wise water or something like that, you can like drink a potion and it'll instantly replenish a certain amount of concentration, so you can finish out that fishing spot. But yeah, I like how the concentration like really slowly builds up over time, even when you're offline. So like, you know, when I'm on break, I'll typically start my breaks by like going to the fishing and fishing as fast as I can to break my concentration down to 0. And then I'll go off and do my daily quests. And then by the time I'm done doing my daily quests, I come back to my fisherman and he's back to full concentration and I burn it all one more time. And then, you know, then my break's over. So I'm kind of like a little bit more efficient with it instead of just standing there waiting for my... Kind of, you know, and like, so you've got 2 characters, but if you're really fishing fast, you'll still run out of it. Especially if you hit a lot of glacial waters and stuff like that, because those seem to... Yeah, and when you start to get to that point, it probably is time. Like, what level are you fishing-wise? You can see in your abilities tab, you can see. Yeah, so if you're level 8 and the fishing, you're still at the very beginning fishing spots with like level 1, 2s, and 3s. So there's behind you, still on Lear's Pier, but you're like next to that like dude that's standing in like a little rowboat. Where like the level 1, 2s. So if you like turn like 180 degrees around the other way and then walk, and you'll see like there's like a little rectangle where the like the pier makes a big rectangle around a middle spot where there's nothing there. There's fishing spots in there that are like level you know, 9, 10, 11, because the amount of fishing experience that you're getting is probably extremely low right now, and those spots, the spots that are the same level as you, will give you a lot more experience. You'll level up much more, but you'll also run out of concentration way faster. So it's, you know, if like if you're trying to farm, you stay at where, you know, you farm in a lower level area. But if you're trying to level, you should level off of the same level as yourself. Because, you know, if you're maybe getting like 5 experience from the fishing spots you're at right now, the ones that are your level will give you like 150 experience, like way more. You could always get on War Thunder. Nobody has shot me down. I'm gonna bomb the base twice and I haven't even seen an enemy fighter. Just litter. It's stressful. Good. It's supposed to be stressful. War's hell, Matt. Including virtual war. Man, I've had some really intense, like, evasive action in some of my bomb, and that's what I like about that Russian bomber, because it flies like a fighter. It's basically like a P-38 Lightning with 5,000 pounds of bombs on it. So, like the other day, I had a Zero that just, like, came up on me and just started blasting me with cannons, and I was able to survive. Like, I survived the initial attack run, turned it inverted, went right down to the deck, made him bleed all of his altitude, you know, and then like took it down to treetop levels, and like that guy was, you know, I'm like weaving between trees, like dipping down into the river valleys, and you know, a friendly fighter, and I called in for fighter support, and a friendly fighter actually came in and like helped me out. And then I went onto the base, and then another fighter jumped on my 6 and started blasting me, and I switched to my tail gunner and shot him down. I was like, oh man, sweet. But then on the way back to the base, like when I was trying to rearm, I had taken a hit and leaked all my water out, so my engines like overheated and died, and I had to land in an open field and evacuate my plane anyway, so I still didn't make it, but that guy didn't get credit for the kill. Like, it just basically said that I suicided. Oh, and I hear somebody coming. Oh, also, I did find out another trick. Play with volume, play with your headphones, and... Okay, it's a friend. Turn your engine sounds down. I have my engine sound set to like 30% now, and leave the and like even turn like some of the other things down, like environment and voice and stuff like that. Turn those down to like 50, but turn the other people's engines up to 100. And it's like an early warning detection. Oh, yep, there's tracers. They're not gonna shoot me down. Get off me. Get off me, trash. Get off me, trash. Alright, let's get this gun. Alright, he's dead. See, man? That also helps when you tell the trash to get off you. That I don't know what it is, but it's got a mental effect on them. Yeah, so you leave the enemy engine sounds at 100%, and then just... it's like basically you'll hear them before they get into kill range of you. So you can start taking evasive action instead of flying straight and level at normal speeds. So like you can go into war emergency power, start banking, start using rudder, and start moving around so that you're not just a sitting duck waiting for a cannon round to come in. That's helped a lot. I just kind of figured that one out yesterday. Because I was actually streaming, and one of the guys watching my stream was like, hey, I can't hear what you're saying. Because I was trying to like vocalize my, you know, okay, I'm going to get to 100 knots, and I'm going to rotate, I'm going to lift my gear up, and then when I hit this speed, I'm going to bring my flaps up, and I'm going to fly this heading to the target area. And I'm like trying to vocalize what I'm doing. And it's, you know, in case somebody's like trying to like learn or whatever. And this guy's like, I can't hear a word you're saying because your aircraft is so loud. He's like, I can tell you're talking, I just can't hear what you're saying. So I was like, all right, cool. So I like turned down, I like went to the sound options and started messing with it. And then I saw that like engine sounds were split into 2 different categories: your engines and other people's engines. So that's huge because, like, you know, your engines obviously drown everything else out, especially if they're the same volume as everything else. So we were literally oblivious to people that could be on our 6, and they could be behind us for 45 seconds just lining up a perfect shot. You know what I mean? And they could even, like, if they've got stealth rounds, they could have been firing at us for 30 seconds and we wouldn't know it because you don't see tracers. You don't know they're there until they actually start hitting you. So that was a big problem for us. You know what I mean? For all we know, like, we thought that, like, obviously we're just flying, we're looking around, and then all of a sudden, boom, we're dead. I mean, for all we know, that guy was behind us for an entire minute shooting at us, and neither one of us had any idea because we couldn't hear him, and there was no indication that he was shooting at us until one of us had our engines blow up. And if they're like, and the gunner's range to start firing is much shorter than what an actual engagement range is.
Let's keep the
So if you
pressure
hear
on.
the enemy engines, like, you can take over your gunners early. And what's nice about taking over the gunners is even though they're not firing at the enemy target, they will still aim their turrets at like the closest threat that's visible. So if you switch to your gunners occasionally, and like notice that they're like aimed at your 5 o'clock low, well, if you zoom in on that area, you very well might see, you know, a dot moving across the tree lines that you wouldn't have seen unless you had looked really closely. So you can like switch to your gunners every so often to try to like check for threats around you. And especially when you hear engines. Like if you hear engines coming, you switch to your gunners, and if your gunners are pointed straight back, like at their normal like default positions, and then you can probably look around and see that maybe that engine approaching is actually a friendly. But it's always better to be, you know, safe than sorry. If I hear engines, I start cranking and banking. And then I see a little blue guy fly underneath me, and I'm like, oh, what's up, man? I'm pleasantly surprised that you are not shooting me down right now. So yeah, simulator mode is totally stressful, but you know, once you like, you know, I'm starting to pick up some tricks now that are making it pretty easy. And once you start making reliable bomb runs, dude, I'm telling you, man, I played with Giles for like a half hour, got almost 19,000 experience. I researched like 5 unique planes all at once, and then one of the bombers that I had played was the first time I'd ever played the bomber. Like I had literally just unlocked it before I started the game. Never stepped foot in it. I had default bomb loadouts, like didn't have any upgrades for it. When I finished that game, I had gone on 2 bomb runs in that bomber. And when I finished the game, I had completely researched everything out, all the way, like completely spaded it out in one game.
A little more effort and victory
It's
will
pretty
be
dope,
yours.
man. And I need a wingman, bro. Also, yes, you can. Well, if you're only gonna play one, then I would prefer that you stick with Celtic Heroes, because the MMO will be better. You'll be back to War Thunder eventually. Or even if. Yeah, I need my BV-238 crew. I really want, especially if Giles buys the BV-238, I really want to go and destroy an enemy airfield in one pass with you guys. 60. Oh, see, well, that's the thing. Like, I imagine if we actually did it, they would obviously focus all their efforts on. They'd be like, holy crap, like 3 BV-238s just through. Like, yeah, we're not gonna let them do that again. It's only gonna work once, but that it only has to work once. Like, if we just log in and yeah. They're not gonna let it happen twice in a row. And if it does, if like by chance we get the second one, it's not gonna happen a third time. Because yeah, like, yeah. And I mean, we could try, but if you think about it, if we just log in and like literally the game's been going for like an hour, nobody's expecting a sneak attack airfield run, and then all of a sudden we just spawn into the game, load up our BV-238s, and you know, bring in a bunch of bombs and just snatch one of their airfields away before they even have a chance to react, you know, and then we get shot down, and then we either like spawn in, you know, different aircraft, or, you know, go for regular objectives, or we just leave, like, you know, and we could completely kill an airfield in like 10 minutes and then leave and just take all that experience and go. And then the chances of us actually scoring a victory once the game actually does expire is pretty dang high, because that's a massive disadvantage to lose an airfield, especially if it's early on. Like, if you do it right at the beginning, holy crap, man. That, I mean, I would imagine you're almost guaranteed to win unless your team is just complete garbage for 3 hours straight. But yeah, and then like in lieu of that, since the BV-238s, each one can take out an entire base in. They can take out 2 bases per bomb run. It takes 9 bombs to take out 1 base, and you've got 20. So you can drop 18 bombs, and then you still got 2 bombs that you can drop on like ground targets of opportunity on your way back home, or you can save them. If we position ourselves like 1 in the north, 1 in the middle, and 1 in the south, like we could kill like their bases like rapid fire. Like every time one spawns in, one of us would be within like a minute or 2. Yeah, and that's what somebody on the stream is actually mentioning that now. That's what I was going to tell you. Like we keep trying to spawn these bombers without any, and we don't have the spawn points to do it. But like this guy in the stream is saying, if you up tier yourself, if you play a tier higher and you bring that plane in, and I mean it's a bomber, so like I'm playing a down tiered bomber right now, and it's still just as good at bombing the ground targets. Like, you know what I mean? It's really not that big of a disadvantage to up tier a bomber. But the spawn points become free. Like if you're bringing in something that's lower battle ranked in the actual range of the room. So if we've played like 4.3s to 5.0s, we could bring in that 4.0 bomber for free. Initially, that could be our first spawn. And I don't know if that's what was going on before, like the first couple times we played where we were able to spawn that thing in. But yeah, I was able to figure that out. So if you do get interested, yeah, if you get interested in playing the Russian line, and you buy this bomber that I've got, you could buy that bomber and then like the P40 Warhawk, and the P40's 2.3 and the bomber's a 2.0. So the P40 will allow you to play in the 2.3 to 3.3 range, and you can bring in a 2.0 bomber as your first spawn for free and go drop 5,000 pounds of ordnance on any target. And dude, it's got 1,000-pound bombs, so if you see tanks or pillboxes or anything like that, you can bomb the hell out of those and get tons of experience. It's crazy how much experience. Yeah, I didn't intend to play Russian until Raven was, he was like, yeah, I'll give Simulator a shot. And I'm like, all right, what kind of aircraft do you have? And he's like, just Russian. Like, he doesn't have anything in any other country. So I was like, well, I don't have any Russian, but I guess now's a good time to start. So I bought that premium plane just so I could fly with him. And he actually shot down 2 fighters on his, like, first Simulator game. I was like, holy crap, man, that's really impressive. He did better than I did. But sometimes it's just luck of the draw. But then, like, his bomb runs went really badly. He would, like, crash his plane or whatever and whatnot. And we probably played for, like, 30, 45 minutes. And he still got, like, 5,000 or 6,000 experience. And and he was messaging me being like, oh my god, man, I can't believe how much experience I just got, even though I did so terribly. I'm like, yeah, man. Imagine when you get, like, pretty good at it. I'm actually going to put you back on the speaker. Well, default. But anyway, yeah, whenever you're ready for some more Thunder, man, I'm starting to learn some of those tricks in simulator mode. It's a lot more fun, man. It's very rewarding. Like when you're flying a fighter and you actually get an air-to-air kill. Like in arcade mode, you mow down 16 guys, nobody cares. I don't even care, You can go 16-3 and I'm just like, eh.
I wish I could do like the arcade controls, but then like have the realism of.
That's kind of an oxymoron, though. I mean, you want the.
I just don't want I don't want the bright red pointing people out. Kind of like I like realistic battles for tanks. Cause they slow down the turn rate, they slow down everything. Like the Hellcat doesn't go, you know, faster than it can handle, you know, in realistic battles.
Attention to the
U.S. can only fight with Allied against Axis, you know, stuff like that. I like that.
That's
And I
yeah.
like how you don't light up like a Christmas tree on the horizon every fucking time. Just someone spots you and their whole team, you know, oh, shoots at you at the same time. It's like,
That's what I love it. Like when you see a black dot, you have no idea what it is. Like being able to identify the aircraft silhouettes is a huge advantage in being able to identify friend and foe ahead of time.
yeah, I hate that about arcade battle. How like even in tanks, you crest a hill and then 14 shells hit you. And it's like, yeah, okay, they weren't all looking up here. Fuck it. Like there's no tactics. It's just
Oh,
pick the
shit.
German or the Russian line that you like better and beat your head against the wall until someone dies. Like.
Yeah, I really enjoy that about the simulator modes where, like, you know, there's no spotting, you gotta visually identify everybody. If you lose sight of somebody, okay, tough shit. You know, you better run. Like, it this kind of reminds me and is reminiscent of, like, that early EQ1 days where you're stomping around in a forest, you know, or you're just walking around in a forest and all of a sudden you hear like stomps in the, like, way off in the distance that you can't see, and you're just like, oh my god, and like your natural reaction is like, I'm gonna hide behind this tree, even though like your scared mind isn't even realizing that's not how the game mechanics work. You know? You're like, oh, I don't know what to do, I'm just gonna go full power and run. And you know, there's no hit points. It's just like
attention to the designated grid.
literally sometimes you. I mean, it's like real life, you know. So sometimes you can take dozens of rounds, and sometimes it's just one bullet that kills you. You have no idea what it's gonna be. Wow.
I keep checking the market on here, trying to find the stolen pieces I need for the Dusk Shroud armor. I only ever seem to find like one kind for sale.
Just keep it up, and victory will be ours.
I've actually had 2 fighters chasing me for like the last 3 minutes, and I'm not quite dead, but I'm getting there. My number 2 engine is like on its last legs. Yep, there it goes. It's out. So there's the last little bit of the maneuverability I had, and here comes some more rounds. That sucks. I pretty much can't juke now. If I lose too much energy, I'm gonna stall. Alright, let's go ahead and feather that prop. Reduce drag over there. Oh! Sweet, he crashed into me and did not get credit for the kill. Alright, I'll take that. Pretty sure I just maxed out that plane. I can't remember what I was flying, so I'm just gonna go back to the premium bomber. Those gunners would have actually killed him, but that plane I was flying was not upgraded at all. Prop pitch 100. This plane likes -3 aileron. It likes 9 elevator trim. And let's go 35. Let's get rolling.
Just a little more effort, and victory will surely be ours.
That's another thing that I changed with my controls is I bound some keys to be able. So I still have the same setup where you can set the trim like the way that you do it, like if you need to do it on the fly. But
yeah.
Once you've kind of gotten into that ballpark area, I've bound a couple of keys. Like you can use like the arrow keys, right, or something like that. Like left for aileron down, right for aileron up, down for elevator down, and up for elevator up. And you can raise and lower the percentages by 1% increments. You know what I mean? So like if 8% elevator trim isn't quite enough, you can just bump it up to 9 quickly, without having to like overshoot it or undershoot it, without having to dick around with it for an unreasonably long period of time. You just kind of dial right in on the percentage that you want. So I definitely recommend you get bind a couple of that like trim settings to your keyboard. And then like once you fly the same plane pretty consistently, like I've been flying this premium bomber, like I just know I'm like like depending on how fast I'm going, I either need -3% aileron or -4%. Anything other than that, and like the aircraft will pretty much want to roll the wings off to one side or the other over time. And like that pretty much doesn't change. If you start going faster, it might be negative. It might change to -3. But if you're going like normal speeds, it's normally like -4. And as long as I fly this airplane, that's pretty much the way it is. And if you make like a major upgrade, like you buy a new engine or whatever, it might change by another percentage point. But you'll figure it out pretty quick. Instead of just like trying to like log in and try to hold your aileron in a certain position while you're trying to press another button. That's good just to get like the initial thing figured out, but golly, I need to climb.
So when an item says 5 bank expansions, but it's a box,
Uh-huh.
does that mean 25 items?
Yeah, 25. So it's yeah, I think
So it's a box with a 1, and then it says 5 bank expansions. Does that mean I pop the box and I get
yeah.
5?
That's how the backpack expansions work, so I assume that's how the bank expansions work as well.
It's only 7,000. I feel like that.
No, so it's because the bank expansions are kind of 7,000's pretty normal. I've seen those go for anywhere from 6 to 9,000, and most people just want to use their backpacks.
Yeah.
There are like long-term quests and really rare items. You might put those in your bank, or like armor sets that you're not going to be using for a very long time. But there's not a lot that I actually keep in my bank. Most of the stuff that's in my bank are like collector's items, fashion items, like potions that are valuable but that I don't plan on using like while I'm actually in combat. Wigs, dresses, I don't know, just random like shit that I'm not gonna like be putting on. I don't need to carry them around with me. But like if it's like a quest, chances are I want to keep that quest item actually on my person so that I can tell. I don't want to, like, all right, let's say I need to get a red tablet, a green tablet, and a blue tablet, and I find the green tablet this month, and then I put it in my bank, and then I go around, and then as soon as you put it in your bank, it says that you don't have it anymore. Then I find the red and the blue tablet later on, and I'm like, oh man, I only need one more tablet, and I go around killing the mobs forever and ever and ever, trying to find that green tablet, and then it drops, and I go and I turn in the quest, and then one day I look at my bank and like, oh, there's that green tablet that I put in there and I forgot about. So I never needed to go and farm those mobs again.
Yeah, the problem with that is my backpack isn't that big, so I gotta put stuff in my bag.
Yeah, that's just why it's not as valuable. The backpack expansions are much more valuable because most people would rather just expand that backpack inventory, but they just
I
cost
agree.
more. But in the actual cash shop, I don't think they cost more. I'm not 100% sure. Or they're very comparable in cost.
I put all the trade skill stuff in my bank on my druid. So all the barley and shit that I get. I'm not going to use that very often. When I do, I'll just go fetch it out of there.
I do not know why my engines are overheating. I need to open up my cows.
So how you doing on the HODL market?
Man, I'm in cold storage, dude. I don't even look. I've actually stopped checking the price. Oh my gosh, I need to open up these damn cows like now. Radiator, auto detect axis. Yes. I'm about to crash. Pull up. Cool these things off, man. Alright, I got my radiators. I thought I had automatic radiator control. There we go. That was so close, man. I went from like 1,000 feet down. I skimmed over the surface of the water as I was trying to rebind my engine controls. And then I just opened up my radiator to 100% and just cooled my engines down like 80 degrees almost instantly. I was like, why the hell are my engines overheating, man? Well, yeah, I'm not letting literally any air out. That would probably help. Alright, base should be up here. Yeah, oh man, I'm so lucky that lake was there. I was literally going through the trees. I think I missed, like, I went in between 2 or 3 trees and then just like almost crashed into that island and then skimmed over the water. That was way too close. Alright, here's the base. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. War emergency power out of here. Get away from the bomb blast. 4-second delay. Base destroyed. Head back to rearm. Alright, so now I got my radiators bound. That's good. Can probably close those up to a more reasonable level. Now I need to pitch down. I've just lost 5,000 pounds, so about 9% ought to do it. Maybe 10%. Let's get 91% throttle set and 90% prop pitch. Keep an eye on that temperature. All right. You thinking about doing any cooking, or are you just gonna stick with fishing?
I will eventually. I'm just not gonna bother right now. I'll do fishing and leveling, and then in the end I'll bring it full circle. But I want to keep all the stuff I have. That way, when I do decide
Yeah.
to cook, I can knock it out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the wheat and the barley and all that doesn't go bad, so you have a stack of 1,000 of it. It's still super useful. So we
Or if I ever decide I need money and shit, I can sell it.
so we made this clan like just to basically have a friends list of people,
Little more effort and victory will be
and then like
ours.
to be able to see when everybody's online and stuff like that. And just with like I think we have 14 members now with all of our alternates and whatnot. We made the like I think we're like number 12 most powerful clan on the server with with our characters and whatnot. Obviously the powerful, the real clans, like the actual raiding clans, are way more powerful than us. But I thought we would be like not even like on the rank, but we're actually on the I think we're on the first page.
Need backup.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I'll just start getting like random requests for joining.
Roger that.
that's another thing. It's really important to be in a guild, because if you are not in a guild, people will not shut up about you joining their guild, and like they get really offended if you tell them no. You know, like I've got to justify why I don't want to join your crappy guild that nobody's ever heard of. So I've gotten to the point where I mostly just ignore tells.
I do too. Every time I'm in town, man, I get nothing but like dual requests and shit, and I just walk through, do my thing. And
Yep, I don't even stop. Yeah, I just go through. I hit the auction house, I hit the bank, I hit the bounty board, and I leave. And just trade, cancel. Whisper, ignored.
Yeah, there was some guy kept
Cancel.
opening trade like 10 times on all my alts. Nope, 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 nope.
People message me more often about dicing, like, cause there's a dice function in the game, and people will like set up like their like dice games.
Casino
Yeah,
shit,
like
yeah.
basically like, and oh my god, everybody wants to dice me for, you know, my rare items. They're like, I'll dice you for that hat. I'm like, no, no.
Like what? Like you put the hat on the line, they put a certain amount of gold, or what do they mean
I don't.
by that?
I don't know. I've never, like, literally never even like asked for the details on it. But from what I understand, and you know how random number generators work, and there's really nothing
Yeah.
that's truly random. There's things that have the appearance of being random, but you know, once you figure out what the seed number is and establish the pattern, you can reliably, over the course of time, like figure out what the results are going to be based on a given input. And from what I understand, that's how it works in this game.
Well done.
Most people think that it's random, but I think there's either some sort of like program or some sort of like script where once you've logged, so like basically your seed number resets every time you log out and log back in. So people will log in, get an established seed number, they'll go off to some desolate part of unpopulated area of the game, and they'll roll the dice over and over and over and over again, and you know, put those values into like a spreadsheet or something like that. And then like based on, you know, a couple of hundred inputs, it's able to determine,
Start seeing the pattern.
yeah, it's able to like determine, you know, okay, here's your sequence. So they will basically wait until, like, it's kind of like counting cards. So they'll wait until the conditions become favorable, and they will like go through and start betting, and they'll let you win a couple of times with low stakes. You know what I mean? So they'll be like, oh man, all right, I'll bet you 100 gold. You know, that I'll roll higher than a 10. You know what I mean? And then you'll be like, okay, cool, 100 gold, whatever. And then like you'll win. And then they'll be like, all right, let's make it 200 gold, and you'll win. And then eventually they'll be like, okay, I'll roll you for that like, oh man, give me a chance to win some of my money back. Like let's do it for, you know, 10,000 gold. And and you're like, all right, cool, 10,000 gold. I've just won 5 times in a row, and then they've predetermined that that fifth one is going to be where they win. I'm not 100% sure that that's how it works, but from what I understand, from what I've read from other players, like that's essentially the process. I'm coming in way too fast. I'm gonna go ahead and fly an upwind here. Try this one again.
I only need 158 more festive crackers.
Turn left downwind.
Probably the one thing I regret the most in this game is starting this shit.
Yeah, that's why. And like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're right. I was
it's-
like, it can't be that much. I got to the 150 and I'm like, alright, that's gotta be the last one. I fucking turned it in. I was like, God, finally I'm done. And then I was like, next one, 250, and oh my God.
Dude, it probably keeps going. I think it probably goes all the way up to 1,000.
Don't fucking, oh no, don't tell me that.
No, I'm serious. Like, you're probably nowhere close to being done. I'm telling you, when I did mine for those stupid birthday hats, I regretted it. I mean, I spent weeks doing nothing but picking those stupid things up. And yeah, like the final hat was an insane amount.
Because I was sitting here thinking, like, if they're worth that much, maybe I'll get to the final hat and then do it 2 or 3 times. But no, if it's gonna be that high, I'm not doing it.
Oh, you know what? I think I.
Because you only gotta pave the way once.
Let's keep the pressure on. Victory.
Then you can just do the final quest multiple times.
But yeah, that's why that stupid hat. Like, I mean, it's just a stupid hat, but people really want it because it doesn't exist anywhere else, and you can't go back and get it now. And so few people did it because it was like, people got halfway done with the quest. They're like, okay, 500, that's got to be the last one, and then they're like, nope, 750. Bring me 750 stupid crackers. And you're like, oh my God, I can't handle this right now. So a lot of people stopped early.
Yeah. God damn it. I'm at 250 and I'm thinking I'm far, and you're telling me I'm not even like a quarter of the way done.
I'm not 100% sure. It's been a long time since I've done it, but I completed it because I had that same sense of perfection that you did, and I was like, man, I started this, I gotta finish it, I gotta follow through. I don't want to, but I will begrudgingly. But once I was done with it, I made a promise to myself that I remember. I was like, I will never, ever start one of these collection quests again. And
Now, that being said, the first day or two that these came out, they were selling for 1,000 each.
how much are they
In the
selling
future,
now?
like 100 maybe. At best. I don't know, I haven't looked. I won't want them anymore. But, that being said, in the future, now that I know where like 25 of these fuckers spawn,
Oh yeah, if you can get on and park your several characters like right where they spawn, or like where there's like you're in quick distance of a couple of them, and just spend like the first couple nights farming them.
dude, yeah, I could probably make like a few 100,000.
Let's keep the pressure on.
Because I could probably get about 100 of these things an hour. And if they're selling for 1,000 each, I mean, I'll do that. I'll do that in a heartbeat. Like, you wouldn't believe how many of these things I know where they spawn. I didn't know there were this many, like, in Lear's Reach, but I have, like, a path down. I can, like, run the whole
Yep. Oh yeah, man.
zone.
You sound like you're exactly doing the exact same thing that I knew where every single one of them would come in. I just ran like as quickly as possible from one spawn, and I had like an efficient path worked out,
Yeah.
and I'd be able to pick up at least so many per lap that I did, and I would just get on every day and just do laps, and it was terrible, and I'll never do it again. But now I
hate
got
you.
some stupid hat.
You warned me to.
I sure did, so you have no one to blame but yourself.
I hate you.
You're like, are you doing this quest? I'm like, no, I'm not even. No, I didn't. Like, here, you can have these crackers that I picked up. I don't want them.
The only thing you didn't warn me on is the sheer volume, the sheer numbers that.
I did tell you that it went up exponentially. Like, it's like 10, then it's like 25, then it's like 50, then it's like 100.
Yeah, and that's like when you stopped 100. I'm like, okay, I could do a few hundred. No, the one I'm on now is 250, and I need 150 more. I have 100.
I imagine it's gonna stop at 1,000. It's gonna stop at a hard round number. It's not gonna be 200. It's not gonna be like 750. It's gonna be like, oh man, this guy's already shooting at me. That's pretty brave. Probably would have got me too if he hadn't done that.
Keep it up and victory will be ours.
I just can't believe people were paying 1,000 at one point for each one of these. That's a very expensive quest they were trying to complete. Another reason why I gotta level up. Everything I kill is gonna drop more money. I probably have collectively around 60k between my 3 characters right now.
Somebody cover me. Guys on me.
Let's open up these radiators 100%. Let's dive back down. We are getting shot at, Matt. Gotta kill Web for a minute. Let's see where this guy's at. Oh, I might have got him. He's limping. Oh, he's turning back my way, I think. Where did he go?
What a shitty situation to be a pilot in World War II, man.
Hey, I got him! Yeah!
Like in a bomber, you're just like a sitting duck, but then you think you're good in a fighter, but this game really opens your eyes to you weren't.
Well, I mean, to be a 16 to 30-year-old male in the 1940s was pretty much perilous no matter what you did. I mean,
Let's keep the pressure on. Victory is close.
shit, dude, I mean, if you, like, you couldn't even be on, like, a civilian vessel in the middle of the Atlantic and be safe, you know what I mean? Like, you put me in a tank, no thanks. Infantry, no thanks. I mean, at least with aerial combat, you can kind of control your own maneuvering and whatnot, but, like, you just imagine being, like the loader in a tank. And you're just sitting there, man. And you just hear the chaos going on outside, and like, they don't even have to penetrate your armor. Literally, if they hit you with a large enough caliber shell on the outside, it'll fragment the inside of your steel, and those pieces are gonna, like, bounce around the inside of your cabin, at hundreds of feet per second, and just make Swiss cheese out of you. Yeah, like, basically you're just sitting there like, I hope either nothing happens or it happens so fast that I have no idea what happened. It's crazy, man.
That's why they had those like chainmail masks to stop the what you said, the fragments from hitting people in the face. That was more World War One.
Just, yeah. It's super shitty. Yeah, but I mean, like, being like a rifleman, dude, just imagine that. Like, you've got, like, a 5-shot rifle, or even worse, like a bolt-action rifle, just with an unreasonably high caliber round. But you're going up against dudes with, belt-fed machine guns and, armored warfare that, and, like, tanks. Or being on a battleship, man, or a destroyer or something like that. Like, and you're just driving around the ocean all day long.
I was thinking about that, like in being like a boiler room guy in a battleship, like an engine room guy,
Yeah,
and you're just like working the engines, and this shit's just going on around you. You're like, well, I hope our gunners hit something. Like,
yeah, like I mean, like you got to look at like the battle of like the North Atlantic. I think like the Jutland Strait or whatever, where they well, no, I was like right out in the middle of the Atlantic, where the Hood and King George, no, the Prince of Wales went up against the Bismarck and the I can't remember the name of the German cruiser that was with it, but the Bismarck sunk the Hood in like a couple of minutes. Just
yeah, they hit the magazine.
yeah, pierced it, just hit the magazine, the whole thing, just completely split in half. Pride of the
Like
British
split in
Navy.
half. Yeah, that shit just fucking went up, man.
Yeah, I mean, and like you're just in the bowels of the ship, just in the bottom. Yeah, doing your job just as hard as you can. Like my job is to man this 130 caliber machine gun on the back left side of the boat, and I'm gonna man the shit out of it. I can't do anything, but I'm here. I'm like, I don't know, if they launch a scout plane and it gets stupidly close to us for no reason, I guess I'll shoot at it. But I mean, or you're like in the boiler room. You're like, I'm gonna shovel the crap out of this coal or whatever.
I know.
I'm gonna shovel my way.
You're just like, all right, let's put it in the afterburner so we can dodge these shells. No, like, you just keep it going. That's all you do.
And you're just hoping. You're just like, man, I just hope our gunners are better than their gunners.
Yeah, dude. Like, that'd be so shitty. Especially because the boiler rooms, like, in the engine rooms, the first thing to fucking flood. Like,
At least with the aviation, like, I mean, you had a pretty, especially in like the bombing units, the early bombing units, you had a pretty high chance of death. But your quality of life was, come on, get these bombs off. Alright, sweet.
at least you had a nice view on the way down.
Your quality of life was much better than like say like forward line infantry. Like you could keep a journal, you could keep a lockbox in your barracks with personal effects and letters from home and all kinds of things that like a forward like infantry, like they weren't even allowed to keep journals, because if the front lines were to become overrun like overnight and you know, the enemy could capture the journals, they could, you know, read them or read like unsent mail and be able to find out, like, okay, you know, these people were here, here, and here on these dates, so we can reasonably assume that a unit of this size has the ability to resupply this many times and can advance this many miles in these given conditions. You know what I mean? Like, they can collect all kinds of intel from that, but like the airmen could go back home and they could write letters, they could keep journals, they could keep personal effects in barracks and lockboxes, and you know, when they didn't make it back, like, you know, they could send all that stuff back home. Like, none of it was lost, none of it was captured. You know, they got to come back to England every single night and have, you know, hot showers and warm meals. And so the quality of life was a lot better. But I mean, dude, just imagine being shot at in the sky. Like, there's no cover, there's no concrete wall that you can hide behind. There's nothing you can do except for turn left, turn right, climb, or descend. Which you couldn't even do that most of the time because you were flying up with 100 other people who are all in the exact same situation as you. And flying erratically is the best way to just delete two of you from the sky. Speaking of, I'm about to get deleted from the sky. Let's go 100% radiators because we are leaking oil out of the number 2 engine, and that's going to start heating up real quick. But we did bomb that base, so we are, let's just hope we made it. All it's going to do is save us. Get off the trash!
I'm gonna start saying that now.
Oh man, we are hurting.
Help me, Tom Cruise. Oh, nice. Fishing level up. Concentration. Go.
Help me, Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is not helping. Oh man, it's almost 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't think I have time for another life. Let's see how much experience I got. I gotta work at 1 p.m. tomorrow. But yeah, that's why we have like so much personal accounts of so many personal accounts of like the air theaters versus personal accounts of the infantry theaters. Like when the infantry came home, like they had to recall things from memory, and you know, after years of just out of this world warfare, like you know, you forget details. But if you come home from a mission for the day and go right home, take a shower, eat a warm meal, and sit down and you know, write down what you remember, you can get much more detailed down on paper. Times, places, events, you know, names of people and heroic achievements and whatnot. A lot more of that stuff can survive because you're able to go home and record it every day.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it, stop buying stuff. Oh man, I keep doing that. The order screen comes up. Alright, 8,000 experience for that time. Not too bad. That's researched. We'll research this one. Alright, sweet. And we did come very close to spading out this vehicle. Nice. We get a turret. We get more bombs, which is definitely what we need. Good. I'll get that next set of bombs. It's the most important thing. And alright, I'm gonna shut down the stream. Thanks for watching, everyone.